You got to do the Lee.
Oh, yeah.
Me.
Feels good to be recording.
Does it, though?
Yeah. I feel like we did this week.
We did. Oh, man, Jake. We recorded already once this week.
Yeah.
And decided against it.
Great stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. I agree. Good content. What I mean, our real reasoning behind not putting that last one out there was we feel like that we did not have enough credibility to speak on a certain subject, and that's okay.
Well, moving on.
Moving on.
So today is going to be a little different.
A little bit different. Hopefully a little lighter topic.
Yeah.
Oh, man. So let's do it, Jake. Pow.
We used to have that. Oh, it's on or not. No.
There it is. Oh, no. That was terrible.
It's been a long time since we used our board.
It is. I mean, we don't do it.
We've been having serious conversations.
Yeah. Jake, let's talk about me and you a little bit.
Yeah, I think we need to express ourselves a little bit and get to know each other a little bit more.
Yeah. We want you, the listener and watcher, the viewer, to know some more about us. So
stupid stuff.
Yeah. We've talked a lot of serious topics recently. Serious topics. I would say serious.
Yeah. We need something lighthearted today. Get our moods up.
At least, yeah. Yeah, get our moods up.
Moods. Looks so bad on camera, probably.
Get our moods up.
Oh, that's probably not going to make it.
It's going to make it. Oh, well, people won't know what we're doing if they're just listening. We have right now we have it's a very split audience.
Yeah.
Like our audience split is about almost even right now between YouTube and podcast platforms, mostly Spotify and Apple Podcast. Yeah. So anyways, so you listeners, you're not going to pick up on that one. They'll probably just go to YouTube just for that. They'll be like, what are they doing?
While you're there, subscribe, please.
Yeah, like and subscribe. Hit that little
I feel
bell.
so weird saying that.
No,
if you like us, just subscribe. If not, I shouldn't have to say.
Okay, here's the deal. Like, truthfully though, it reminds me there's plenty of platforms or plenty of shows that I like on YouTube that I don't think about it and I never subscribe to them.
Really?
So yeah, So like and subscribe.
I like to subscribe to things. I like to get reminded. Yeah, because it just gets me back in YouTube land again. YouTube land. That's a dangerous rabbit hole, man. I got this buddy, Dave Gale, that we used to be like, dude, like every Wednesday or Sunday night we'd hang out. And he would and he would dive into this rabbit hole on finding these videos. But here's how he would do it. He would search something. And it'd be like, so-and-so does a backflip off of a trampoline or whatever, right? But then it would be like the suggested bar on the side. Oh, yeah. So he would be like, okay, I searched this. And then he'd scroll down on the sidebar. Oh, and then this one led to this one. And it would be like 30 minutes sometimes. And by the time he would get to the video, we'd be over what he was wanting to show us. Like, dude, seriously? Sounds like TikTok, man. TikTok is like zombie. It's
I don't do it. So.
I know, but TikTok, you can get lost in that for
really
30 minutes and not even realize it.
Like just watching short clips.
Oh yeah, they're just one after another. Pop, pop, pop.
How long is a TikTok?
Long as a TikTok? 60 seconds.
A minute long?
That's on huge ones. I mean, there's bigger. I think that's the biggest, and it goes smaller than that.
Yeah.
But like I told you, the algorithms, it knows everything you like.
Yeah. So once
you're
you
gonna see everything, whatever coming through your feed, you're gonna see. So if you stop and watch it just for a couple seconds, then it starts feeding you things. So everything you like is there. So you're gonna watch everything and you're laughing about it, whatever.
Yeah.
So
have you ever? Let me ask you this: have you ever scrolled to the bottom of your Instagram feed ever? Yeah, me neither. But I've heard that people do that. Like they can't stand it if they haven't seen everything in their Instagram feed.
Oh, well, I mean, I've seen sometimes it says you're caught up. Maybe that's it.
So you have.
But that's not.
You weirdo.
Depends on how fast you're checking it. You check it every 10 minutes. It doesn't take long to get to the bottom.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I've never seen that before.
Really?
But I know there's some people that it bothers them. I've heard of these people. I've heard of.
Well, it's the same thing as the messages. like on your text message emails, like you have the little red square on your iPhone telling you how many are there.
Oh yeah, that drives me crazy.
I know. So you got to go watch. You have to go get them all undone. That's the same thing.
Okay, funny stuff. Okay, that brings up a good one. Pet peeves.
Oh yeah.
That is a pet peeve of mine. Like, here's what's a weird one for you. Ready? I have exactly the same number of emails unread in my inbox, and if it goes up by one, because I know exactly what the emails are that are unread.
Oh, the ones that you're leaving unread for a reason.
Yeah, and then what it is like this gym information thing, and it's like a subscription, and I'm like, I'm going to read them, and it's been this way for at least a year. And so I know exactly how many emails are in there. It's 165.
And that's what it stays at. And
if it's above that or below it, hang on, let me confirm this. Yeah, if it bumps up, see, I'm at 166 right now. That's a problem.
So he's going to check it right now.
Yeah, so no, I'm not going to check it right now. But for real, 165 emails. If it changes from that, I know I have a new email and I can't have it.
Jeez, why don't you just put them all in a folder and then go back to them?
I should. So text messages, emails, voicemails, notifications in general. That's why I turn off Facebook and Instagram notifications.
Because you can't handle that.
No, because then I would check my phone every 5 minutes.
Yeah. Because
especially like Instagram and Facebook, like if I post something from the gym or from BTB, behind the better if y'all are wondering.
In case you didn't know.
Yeah, if you didn't know. Like if we post something, like it's bing, 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 nonstop, and then I'm looking at my phone every 3 seconds and I accomplish nothing.
Yeah.
So it's a pet peeve.
Yeah.
Simple one.
I watched a documentary one time on like social media stuff, and that there's algorithms to send you.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
If you haven't looked at your phone for a while, they'll send you a notification just to get you back.
Yes.
And it's something about the ads, like how they design their ad program, and for you to like constantly be filtered back to Facebook or back to your phone.
Was that the one on Netflix? Yeah. That was really good.
I don't remember what it was called, but it was really interesting.
Really interesting.
You find out that you're just a
zombie.
Yeah, you're getting controlled by robots.
Yeah,
like,
it's insane.
Basically,
they literally spend a fortune to try to figure out how to get you to look at your phone longer.
Yeah,
that's crazy, right?
And it's typically what TikTok does too, is like how it figures out what you like. And what you like.
Yeah. It sends you things. Okay.
So basically, and they said like you're the ad or something, like it.
Yeah.
It turns around. They're selling you to these companies.
Yep, that's right.
That like that information or whatever.
Yep, exactly.
That's kind of crazy.
This person likes this thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Google. You're talking about around your phone. It pops up in your feeds. Like,
they're some scary stuff.
Yeah, it's scary. I mean, it's kind of smart for them, but
no, it's really scary.
It's really smart. Think of a business. If you had everybody like, man, I wish I could just be better at something. All of a sudden, it's like our podcast is there. That'd be really cool, right?
Yeah.
So for companies, it's actually really good.
It's genius.
And you can use Facebook ads in your company too. And I really want to learn how to do that.
Facebook ads?
Well, like not just throwing an ad out, like actually targeting your client and like going after them.
Isn't that done through tags?
Yeah, that and what they like and interests that they like, and you can like
their interest is
make your audience a certain person demographic all the way.
No, yeah. So I've done it for the gym for the comps. Like I will target an area, right? So not just like Houston area. Like it would be like specifically like this part of Houston, like within like a 10-mile section where I know like a lot of gyms are, and then I'll do an age range, right? Because I know that 15-year-olds are probably competition. I know that 65-year-olds are probably not coming to a competition.
Yeah.
I know that if their interests are fitness, competition, CrossFit, gym, lifting, like I put all these tags in there, and it targets the people who are interested in those things. Wow. Yeah.
Pet peeves?
Yeah, so I already gave you one. What was yours?
I have a couple of them.
All right, give me one.
Poppets. Anything with smacking, popping, like the new Pop-It toys.
Yeah. They're not even that loud.
They don't have to be. Dude, I don't know what the disease is called, but like the smacking, SMR,
don't do that.
That stuff?
Yeah.
Throws me over the edge.
Really?
Yeah, like I could be sitting there in the house like doing something and hear that across the room, and it's like rage mode.
Trigger mode.
Yeah, and I don't want to be that way, but it's like, oh my god.
Yeah, Nikki's the same way. Like
we've noticed that, like, it's funny because we eat at this restaurant, Mexican food, not the one you're thinking, but we eat at this restaurant, and it's like Yeah, different one.
Y'all cheat on
definitely.
La Casona?
You can't say the name.
Why not?
I don't know. But the one that we go to, it's like 9 times out of 10, you'll be sitting there and every table is like on their chips, like really bad. And it's so noticeable. And so I was driving the other day. And I was
why is it? Wait a second. So you're telling me some restaurants, their chips annoy you and some don't?
No, this is what my conclusion was. I was driving the other day. I was like, why does this not bother me at La Casona?
Because it's so loud there.
There's no music playing in this place. It's completely silent, and all you hear is. So that's one of my pet peeves.
Nikki's the same way. Like our dog will be grooming herself. And
yeah, dude. I'll throw a pillow. I'll do whatever.
Yeah. She like Nikki will wake up in a dead sleep and like be like, get out of the room.
Yeah, that's the same way. That's funny. And that does not affect you.
I mean, I don't like enjoy it, but I'm not like, I'll fall right back to sleep.
I had this best friend growing up, and I think he's the one that really broke me in.
Really?
Oh yeah. His whole family would not. They just like full on open mouth at the table.
Yeah.
And I'm like coming from a house that you get smacked across the table if you like that.
Yeah.
So like kids know it too. And so to be a fun dad, if I'm a fun dad, some days I'll be like, all right, Dee's not here. She goes, and if she's shopping or doing something by herself, which is never, but if it does happen, it's like, all right, we're going to have a chomp day. Slurp, chomp, whatever you want. So we'll all go get our food. We'll get chips. We get whatever we can get. And we'll sit there and we'll just do it so I can work on like getting used to it.
That's
if you intentionally do it, it doesn't bother you.
Yeah.
But if you're just not wanting to do that and you hear it, it really gets you.
That's really funny.
So they love that. It's like their favorite.
Their chomp day.
They'll give chips to the dog or whatever. Like we'll just all be like just going to town.
Oh man. All right. Pet peeve.
Sorry to everybody else that's listening and doesn't like smacking in all of my little examples.
Yeah.
Because that would drive me
nuts.
If you got off of
like you would turn the pod.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you turned off. Oh wow.
Sorry. If you're still here, thank you.
Internet experts drive me crazy.
Internet, what is it? Facebook doctors?
Yes.
Mom doctors or whatever?
Yeah. Facebook doctors and currently Facebook war experts and stuff, how to properly do this and that with the current administration and politicians, internet politicians, fitness industry experts.
Just like everybody that...
Well... I already told, like, man, I've done it too. Okay, so, and I've like made myself mad afterwards. Like, oh, you idiot. But there's so many people like that comment on things and give their opinion, their expert opinion on the internet. And guess what? Nobody cares. In fact, it probably makes a person more irritated with you and don't like you.
Yeah.
Right? So what is it called? The something advice, like, unasked for advice maybe or whatever. People don't like it, right? And I've done it before, and I've reaped some repercussions of it. There's this runner one time, and they posted a video of them running, and I was like, oof, and I made some corrections. This was
oh my goodness. You went that route?
Yeah.
That's pretty bad.
Oh, dude, I'm such an idiot. And this person ripped me, and I was like, well, I wasn't wrong. But at the same time, I broke a bridge with that person.
Oh my
yeah, goodness. So I learned my lesson on that one. But it drives me crazy now. I watch. I see people do it all the time.
The worst ones are whenever you're doing like a post. I've done posts before.
Yeah.
And you get that little inbox, and it's like an old English teacher, and she's letting you know everywhere that you messed up in your post.
Grammar Nazis. Grammar Nazis drive you crazy. Yeah. You
do that to me too. You don't like my explanation marks,
dude. No. Yes. You always put a space before you put your. You never noticed that? It'd be like the final word.
It happens still.
Space and then period or space. Question marks. I'm like, Jake, what is this? There's no space.
Oh, I don't care.
Anyways, Grammar Nazis. That's another one. That one doesn't bother that much, honestly. I think that one's actually funny.
And then the flip side, actually taking time to give someone advice and then them not listening to you. That's a bad one.
So that's definitely one of my pet peeves. For sure.
Yours is different though, as far as like if you're thinking gym related, because sometimes you give advice to me and I'm like, I really am trying to do it, and I just can't make my body do what you're asking. Like, I'm just like, is that it? Is that it? And I keep looking at you. You're like, no, that's not it. So he's like, I give up. And I'm like, I'm trying.
Jake is just looking for a good boy. And I'm
knees out. I'm like, this is knees out. For me, this is knees out.
My knees are out as far as I possibly get.
Yeah, really.
Oh, so that's funny. When people ask you for advice and you tell them the advice, like you give it to them, and the whole time you can see in the back of their head, they're thinking, like, and they're thinking, no freaking way that's happening.
Yeah. What is that? Pearls before swine. That's exactly. I've done that so many times. Yeah. Like someone comes to you with like an actual problem.
Yeah.
You give them the exact advice that they need. Not that like, I mean, you know, there's a lot of wisdom that comes out of us too. I think both of us carry wisdom. And so you take time to really give wisdom to somebody, and then they're like, you almost argue with the answer and just go on and do whatever they want.
Why did you
come here?
Yeah, why did you come here?
So that's one thing that really gets me.
Yeah, so we kind of have the same one on that.
Yeah, I think it's probably maybe in different scenarios, but
it's still the same thing.
Yeah,
that one gets me for sure.
And then one of the bigger ones that I was thinking of, because it's all kind of like relationship wise, is coming to me with a problem about somebody else, and you have a lot of problems that you're not fixing. Like as far as like, well, so-and-so really upset me. Yeah. But then you haven't looked at yourself first to like see, are you doing everything right? So
dude, that one's so hard.
It's bad. But I learned that from my brother-in-law, because I would always come to him and like, I'm mad at my dad, or I'm mad about this. That's a birthmark. One of them was.
That's dirt.
Not that.
That is dirt.
Where's the birthmark at?
You listeners, I'm like telling Jake about it.
There's a birthmark right underneath that. I think I hit it on this table. Yeah, that right there is a birthmark. This is not. But that's
see, the more you know. I just learned something about Jake.
There you go. So my brother-in-law, I would go to him and be like, look, my parents are doing this, and he's like, yeah, but let's talk about you. Yeah. So like, it's always go straight back to yourself, because
that one's a super tough one. Like I'm always not always, man. See. I am a self-reflect person, right? At least I think I am. I at least try to be. Let's go with that. I try to be.
Yeah.
Like if you have a problem, let's look at you first. Look at me first. Let's not talk about the other person. Don't tell me about what they've done. I think that's the place to start, right? It's the whole thing, like plank. You know, you're trying to pull the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why do you have a?
Why can't we not think of it right now?
Well, it's everything we're talking about is biblical. It's just we're hiding it with like actual lingo. But it's remove the splinter from your eye.
Yeah.
Or
from your neighbor's eye.
Remove the log
from your
eye.
He
goes into depth. It's like it's way bigger than what you're looking at.
But you're trying to remove the splinter from your neighbor's eye or whatever.
Yeah, with a log in your eye. So it's like way bigger.
Yeah.
I like that analogy, because it's like if you're looking at somebody else and you already have an issue with them, that's way bigger of a problem than anything else that you can have.
So this reminds me of something. Like I heard something. This is not fun anymore. Sorry.
What is?
This is about to go into not fun stuff, I guess. But somebody said this, and it was like kind of like relationship advice. And they said, "Are we listening?" They asked this. They said they asked their spouse this question: "Are we listening today, or are we fixing problems?" Like before they start a conversation. Like let's say like you and I are having a conversation, Jake, and you start telling me something, and I go, "Hold on, are we listening today, or are we fixing problems?"
You're about to have a problem if you do that.
Well, like what they're saying is they're prefacing is, do we want to work on this, or do you just need me to listen?
Right.
And I'm not a good listener. I'm a good problem solver. I mean, just admittedly so. Like, if you tell me your problems, like about things, and I'm going, like, I'm analyzing. Okay, how do we fix this? That's this where my brain goes to. How do we fix this? What is the solution? Where do we need to go with this? Right? Mm-hmm. That's how I'm wired. So I have to like really shut my mouth sometimes, especially when I'm talking to my wife, and just shut my mouth and just listen.
Yeah.
Babe, I love you, but the whole time I'm judging you. No, I'm kidding. I'm not judging her, but I'm
analyzing.
I'm analyzing the conversation, and some days I'm doing better. Some days I don't respond at all. Like I just let her tell me what she has to say. I'm trying to be better at this. To let her just tell me what she has to say. Like let it out, right? And just not try to fix the problem. And that's really hard.
What is your 3-step process?
Don't get angry. Pray.
Wait, no. Pray.
Wait. Oh, the reverse. Yeah, pray. Don't get angry. And then think logically. Yeah. But that's a tough one for me. Like listening, being a real listener. Because, man, it's like one of those things that like every time we have a conversation not every time, I would say the majority of the time we have a conversation with somebody, we are listening with the intent to respond. Mm-hmm. Like, Jake, you're talking to me.
We have to do this.
Yeah.
We're going to really train wreck on
it. Right. But we listen as humans with the intent to respond. And oftentimes we miss the content of the conversation because our mind is on our response and not the conversation.
Right.
And I'm trying to be better at that because I'm not good at it. So anyways,
especially if you pop off with something like, well, this is how this is supposed to be.
Are we fixing the problems today or are we listening?
It's like, it's time to talk. Well, you wait here. We're going to talk about this. We're going to fix it. Yeah. Wrong answer.
Yeah.
All the above, buddy. You're about to go through it.
I'm a problem solver, man. It's hard for me.
Yeah. Hard to solve the problem. It's the problems yourself.
Oh, Jay, come on.
I'm not talking about you. I'm saying in general.
Oh, no, definitely me.
Problem solver. We'll go solve yourself. Sometimes that's how I feel.
It's true, though.
I think you're on the right track, though. The slower you go into that, the more you can, like, really prepare that answer to make sure that it's correct. Because if we just pop off with something right off the bat, normally it's the wrong thing.
Well, so I was saying, like, sometimes we just need to listen, though, right? And you don't need to respond. Like, you don't need to. Like, sometimes the response is, okay, I hear you. And that's it. Not, okay, well, did you do this? Or how about we do that? You know what I mean? Sometimes it just needs to be shut your mouth, listen, and
act. Act on it. Don't talk about it. Do it. You know what I mean? Because like if you're hearing something, they're telling you something, then I say that, like I'm talking about my wife. If she's telling me something, there's something hidden in that. They're very complex.
Women are complex.
Very complex.
Yeah.
You know, it's complex, but I think it's because we make it complex. Because a lot of times like you said, we jump to conclusions and we start performing like how to fix that. Yeah. But really you're missing like where they were hurt at. Like that's where I've had that situation.
Oh, for sure.
Like, there's been a hurt somewhere and then it's like I'm moving forward trying to fix things, but I haven't like dealt with that hurt first. Yeah. You know, and so it doesn't ever get fixed, you know, so. It's crazy. Relationships and marriage are crazy, but it's fun. That's what I love about it. Like, yes, it's a mess.
Jake, it's fun?
Yes. Dude, I watch people get married all the time. Yeah, I'm telling you. Like, my favorite thing about marriage is having to figure it out together. Like, really, to me, marriage is not you in an argument. It's not you versus your wife. It's you two versus this world and marriage and what it brings.
Yeah, for sure.
And if you can get on that site of it, that it's not, oh, me and you have these two sides and we're trying to combat, but that we're one and we're fighting against the world and everything that we're doing, that makes arguments almost, I wouldn't say go away, but you take a team mentality instead of against each other.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Take.
So if you're like looking at it together, then you can move forward together. Where if you're combating, you're stuck there until anything that Dee and I have ever done, whether it be positive or negative, if we're negatively, like I say something negatively, like if we both decide we don't want to do something, then we're not going to do that. If we both decide we want to do something, we're going to do it. You know, so, but anything that's ever divided, it just stays stagnant. So when I learned that, I was like, let's start, if we're going to have an argument, let's push to both fix it. Yeah. You know, together and not one of us try to do it, one of us not. One of us sit over here and not talk and express their emotions. This one does. You don't get anywhere. You have to have that communication. Yeah. So, and it just stinks because in marriage and being a husband or being a wife, you're going to make mistakes. And when you do, you really need a partner that's going to forgive on the other side. Because if you don't have that, then you're really stuck. And I think it's crazy because you as an individual have the power to release somebody or keep them captive by forgiveness or not forgiveness.
Absolutely.
You know, I can make, or she, let's just use her because I want to say me because that sounds really bad. I can make my wife a slave. I don't want to say that. She could make me a slave to feeling like unworthy if she doesn't forgive me if I mess up.
Oh yeah.
But if she can forgive me, then we can both be equal together and move forward. It's when you hold that grudge that it really just imprisonates the person on the other side. So with me, I like my kids, I use them too, because it's a really easy scenario. You can choose to put on the front that you're upset with your child because they did something wrong. Or you can love them and forgive them and show them that I have the power to release this stress. Like if they're crying and they feel upset and they feel like they didn't make it or they missed the mark, you can give them forgiveness right there and love on them and release that from their life instantly. They won't think, oh, I'm not worthy to be your kid, or I really messed up, Dad. I wish you'd forgive me. All of those thoughts that the enemy would bring in on them, you can release that with forgiveness immediately.
Yeah.
And that's how it is with marriage. If you stand your ground and you try to make your spouse feel like unworthy, or I'm going to let you suffer for a little bit, or I'm going to let you feel like what I'm feeling, that anger or whatever, you're just imprisonating them. If you can just release them with forgiveness and love, then it like makes the whole thing way better. So it's really tough, but I love it. That's the thing.
Man, Jake.
Marriage to me is so much fun.
That's good.
The bad times and the good.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
My throat.
You're coughing over there?
Yeah.
It's a little hot in here. So a little different today. We're not filming at like 5:30 in the morning. It's like 6 at night.
6:15. Yeah.
And we're back up into the 90 degree.
It says 100 degrees outside.
That's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
In here? Because that doesn't detect.
Yeah, I don't think that's accurate 100%, but it's warm. Let's just go with it's hot.
Let's go with 99%.
Yeah, it's hot.
I mean, yeah.
Dude, that was good, Jake.
Oh,
Forgiveness is powerful.
it really is. It sets you free. And so I just want to be that way all the time with my wife. And dude, I've seen such a huge difference the past couple of years. We've really tried to work on communication. You know, like we've always been best friends, but there was always like, it's like me and you, like we're friends.
Yeah.
Best friends, we're good friends.
Yeah.
But you don't know things about me.
Yeah.
I don't know things about you. And,
Yeah.
Even with 12 to 13 years of knowing Destiny, there's things I still don't know, or things I still haven't zeroed in on to say, hey, this is how she acts in this situation.
Good luck.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you don't know a lot of that stuff for a long time until you really start saying, like, let's sit down and really talk about this. Like, why are you acting this way, or what makes you feel this way, so that I can understand your side.
Yeah.
And when you do that, it like takes your relationship to the next level. And the fact that you're even having that kind of conversation, it builds like a sense of care in your marriage. And so both sides feel like, man, you really care about me, because you're willing to sit here and talk about this, or you're willing to try to figure me out. You should never stop trying to figure your spouse out.
Yeah. It's a book with unending pages. It really is. Yeah. I would say that there is conversations that Nikki and I have that I'm like, okay, I think I know how to handle this if this comes up again.
But do you?
And I don't. Yeah. But I can't tell you how many times that we've had conversations that I have learned though. Mm-hmm. I've learned things without a doubt of what upsets her, what really what upsets her more than anything else. You know, these things, you learn those things. And if you don't learn those things, I think, well, if you don't learn those things, you're pretty much doomed, right?
Just going to repeat the process over and over.
Yeah, and over and over and over again. But I mean, obviously nowhere near perfect. I still upset my wife all the time, but definitely try to understand what these things that really trigger these emotions are. You know, some things I almost feel like some things are unavoidable sometimes. I feel that way. Mm-hmm. Like, man, like how do I avoid this again? You know what I mean?
Or how do you find yourself in that situation?
How did I find myself in this situation to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
And those are the ones that I'm like, that I feel like are the hardest to handle, or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think going in with the intention that your spouse is not perfect and that they're going to make mistakes and that you're already prepared to forgive.
Yeah.
That placing your heart in that position is way better than coming to your spouse with an expectation and then failing it and you feeling upset about it, and then they fail it and they feel upset about it.
Yeah.
Like you're setting yourself up for failure or hurt at that time.
Yeah, for sure.
Because people make mistakes. Now, is my wife
human
perfect?
nature.
Is my wife perfect in my eyes? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Are we working on perfection in our marriage? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have we failed each other? Yes.
Yeah.
It's what happens after the failure that matters. I can wipe away all the bad things she's ever done if right after it's like, hey, you know what? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Done. For me, done. If you come to me and say you're sorry, it's over. Like, it's out of here. Like, God says he cast it as far as the east is from the west. Like, you should be able to forgive instantly. And I know things hurt people. Things like really like impact them to like, oh, I don't want to let that go. And you remember, you get slapped in the face one time really hard. You're going to remember it and you're going to flinch.
Yeah.
So knowing that the flinch, maybe the flinch syndrome, we'll call it that.
Yeah.
Then the next time you do something that resembles that and they flinch, you have to be understanding. The other side has to be forgiving. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if they flinch because you've hurt them in some way, you have to know that, hey, I did cause this in the past.
Yes.
They have forgiven me, but that's just a natural response.
Yep.
And then me having to they need to be forgiving, knowing that, hey, you messed up. You're working on it. If you're not vocalizing, hey, I'm working on this. I want to be a better husband. I want to be a better wife. You need to vocalize that stuff so that they know everybody's on the same page. I'm going to mess up. I don't want to mess up. I do want to be a better husband. I do want to be a better wife.
Yeah. You
vocalize that stuff, they should have a sense of.
So here's one for you, okay? I am a very quick apologizer. Like I'm not saying that I realize all of my mistakes like immediately, but I try to, or I think that sometimes like oftentimes within minutes or, within the conversation, I start realizing my shortcomings, mm-hmm. right? And I apologize quickly. I'm like, I'm sorry. But I mean, have I ever said this to you before? Mm-mm. So here's throw kind of a little wrench in your cog here in your plans. To Nikki, that sometimes comes off as like insincere. Right. Okay. Because she's like, there's no way you're already sorry for what you've done. Mm-hmm. How can you like be like sorry for what you've done? We just had this conversation. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's also another navigation thing that like,
throws a kink in, but at that point, that's where your communication comes in. Like, do you go in depth on why you're sorry? Or is it just, I'm sorry, it's my fault? Like that one, absolutely, Dale, you're wrong.
That seems like sarcasm.
Right. Yeah, so if it's like that, it's different. But if yes, it's not the perfect scenario every time.
Yeah.
But if you know that, now you know that, right?
Dude, I know it, but
shift.
It's tough. Yeah.
There's compromise on both sides.
Yeah.
And here's the biggest thing about marriage. Let's say today you start trying to do everything right. Everything, every hint, everything that's ever told you, like, oh, if I do this in this scenario, and you do it, and the other person doesn't change, what do you do then? That's my point.
Yeah.
Like,
okay,
that is where marriage, and that's where being a man in a marriage matters.
Yeah.
You've got to be willing to change without seeing anything back in return.
Yeah.
And that goes for even wives and husbands. You start changing, some people go 2-3 days. KP syndrome.
Oh no, don't do it to him.
It's not working. Nothing's working. It's not ever gonna happen.
Don't do that to him.
I know, I'm just messing.
He's not gonna watch this. It's okay.
Watch it. So, but that's what I'm saying is you try something for 3 days and you've done 10 years of damage.
Yeah.
You think that's gonna fix it? Mm-hmm. If you're struggling in marriage right now, like, take it as I say it. Like, you have got to start doing something consistently, unselfishly. Because if you do it with a motive to get, I need to see a response from them, you're already wrong. And you're going to fail and you're not going to see it. You've got to do it knowing that they are damaged and they are not probably working on themselves.
Yeah.
If you're taking the steps to work on yourself and the other side's not doing that, that's exhausting.
It's time to suck it up. Keep going.
It's exhausting. So just know that there is hope on the other side of changing yourself.
Yeah.
Just because they're not at the moment that you decide, oh, we need to change. Now they need to decide to change. No, you made that decision on your own.
Yeah.
Can't make everybody do the same thing. You can control you. That's it. And so in marriage, it takes changing. It's just like the phone thing.
Yeah.
Like you decided to do something. May take a couple days, a week, for people to notice that maybe this is I'm trying to change.
She still hasn't brought it up. She still hasn't said anything about it.
Well,
it's been at least 3 weeks.
So what do you feel like on the inside?
Yeah, it hurts a little bit. Like, for real.
Well, I mean, I could see that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, this being the unselfish one.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to say that because I want to make it seem like she's selfish.
No.
But what I'm saying is, in a scenario, you're like, you noticed a problem. You're putting it into action. And what happens when nobody rewards little Dell for doing it?
Man, hurts my feelings.
Right?
Yeah. Because you want that. You want that not confirmation. Confirmation's the right
confirmation.
Word. Yeah, or affirmation.
Right.
Of like, oh, I see that you're trying. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Or good job. You know. And if that doesn't come, you have to be okay with it. It hasn't. Right. It's not changing the way that it has not changed my my goal at all.
And that gate swings both ways because I'm sure if you really sit back and look, because there's been times, man, I've done things and I'm like changing it up and I'm doing things right and I get kind of frustrated. I'm like, have you not seen what I'm doing?
Yeah.
This is how I learned how to talk like this is because I've done this.
Yeah. Have you not noticed that I unloaded the dishwasher every day this week?
And so she's like, yeah, but did you notice that I was doing this, this, and this? And I'm like,
didn't notice that. Yeah.
So it's like, you mean there's things that she's doing and they may be super little. Mm-hmm. They may be something that you don't notice.
Yeah.
If you're studying your wife or studying your husband, like, I think that's where it comes down to really investing your time and looking at someone and trying to study what they're doing. Because then if you can see something and you bring that up out of the ordinary without an argument or without her telling you something nice, you're like, oh, I got to find something. Oh, your hair looks nice today. Like, no, you actually studied and took time to say, hey, I noticed that you've been doing this lately. This is totally different. I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd break your wife's heart like that.
Yeah.
You know, so and not like just say that to break her heart or make her feel like she's cared for or loved, but it's a lot of times we go through life and we just go day to day and we forget about your spouse. And so then you wake up and, like we talked about a couple episodes ago, you're just different people 20 years down the road.
Yeah.
But if you really study that person, you walk that out together, you really learn that you love your spouse and you want to be with her all the time. And I say that, I mean, people look at me and they're like, you're an idiot, like, all the time. You need to get away from your wife. You need to do this. But honestly, when you've built a relationship that strong, you don't want to be away because that person makes you feel like complete, like you're one with that person. And that's how God intended marriage to be. Intimate, physically and mentally. So.
Boom.
It's just so much, man.
Dude, Jake, like, whenever you start Dr. Phil'ing over marriage, I love it, dude. It's because
Dr. Phil ain't got nothing on me.
Dr. Phil's like watching.
Dr. Phil, you fake.
He's gonna be watching this like, yeah.
But he's got more hair than me too.
I love how passionate you are about marriage, and it comes through. And dude, you get great advice, man. So thank you for being my friend and sharing with me. It's good.
It's so funny because when I was like 11 years old, that's like all I wanted.
To be married?
To be married.
Wow.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know what it is about marriage. It's just like,
we're just gonna change the name of the podcast to Jake's Marriage Counseling.
And I don't want anybody thinking my marriage is perfect, but man, I do my best. And Destiny, you know, she's gone through some stuff in her life, and there's been some low periods, and there's been times that we just like, God, what are we doing? Yeah. But then there's these times now that it's just like you're
hitting a good stride right now.
No, we're just open-minded
that
that each one of us are different, but each one of us wants to put the effort in.
Yeah, I got you.
And it took a while because there was times that Dee was putting effort, I wasn't, and then I was putting effort and she wasn't. But when we hit that stride together and we started feeling like what it is to actually work together, like I said, kind of changing your outlook that it's not you versus your wife, it's you versus the world. Yeah. And the problems that the world brings you, whether that be financial, whatever, it's not, your wife is side by side with you. You should be facing the world, not fighting against her.
I agree.
You know?
Yeah.
And it just makes decisions a lot easier.
Right on. All right, dude.
That's marriage. What other pet peeve you got? Pet peeve in marriage or what?
Oh man, where do we go from there, dude?
Dude, it's just good stuff.
No,
it's just a well that springs up.
Yeah, this guy, like, he gets going on marriage. It's rock solid stuff. Yeah, good Lord.
Our exact words today. All right, we're not going to talk about anything serious. We're going to talk about everything fun.
That's how we're. Yeah,
it's needed, man.
Yeah.
I don't honestly we might talk about something fun, but this platform is here for a reason. There's people listening to our podcast that are struggling with marriage. There's people that struggle with being a father and a mother, and if we, information needs to get out. Yeah.
Well, it's good. It's also, you know what I find is, like, especially with these types of topics, there may be some things that people have never heard before. They may have never heard it, but then most times, or more often than not, I find that it's things that they just need to be reminded of. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Communication. Those things are like sacrificing and trying to make change, and knowing that you may be doing it, feel like you're doing it alone. Mm-hmm. And you have to be okay with that. People probably know that or heard that, but they need to be reminded. You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
Yeah, I think they just need that support to know if you're making a decision to better your marriage, but nobody's noticing. Yeah. A lot of times it happens because you did a lot of damage.
Dang, man.
I'm just saying.
Making me feel bad about myself.
No, I'm just... Oh, it's because of the phone thing?
No. Just being funny.
I'm just saying it's like... we talked about it before. Like, you do something negative till you're 30 positives. Yeah. They're going to always remember the negative.
But it's just the way human nature is. Like, you won't remember the 30 positive things that you've done for them, but they'll remember the one negative. Yeah. Right. So
what about...
It just tells you how fragile human emotion is. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
What about, like, and I think in anything that we're good at, you in your life or me in my life, the source behind all of this is 100% biblical.
Yeah. Has to be. Yeah.
I mean, if God says he is love, okay, and that's what we're supposed to do with our wife is love them, how can you do something without the source of it? Like, if he's the source of love, how can you love somebody without him? You can't. Yeah. And all you have opposite of love is what? Hatred. Yep. And so whenever you're trying to do marriage on your own, or if you're in a marriage right now without the Lord in your marriage, I wouldn't even say he has to be the center point. If he's just in there, he can turn it around. Yeah. But if it's not, it's really hard to love somebody if you don't understand what love is. Not like, oh yeah, somebody like, what is love?
What is love? Baby. And then like pop straight in my head.
But it's like, that's when you understand what, like, whenever my parents would ask me, like, well, what is love to you? And you're a kid and you're like dating, like, do you even know what that love means? It's like, do y'all even know what love is?
Your parents, that's what you're wondering.
My parents are divorced, sadly.
Oh, no.
Sorry.
Jake.
Was love there?
Yeah.
Not at my definition, it wasn't.
Oh, yeah. You don't think it was ever there?
Man, anytime. And my mom would say the same thing. Yeah. And me and Dee have a very special relationship. And so compared to a lot of relationships that I see, Dee and I are completely different. And I noticed that when I met Dee, and I noticed like how we would interact, and I'd look at my parents or look at anybody's parents at that. I mean, most of my friends' parents are all divorced too. So looking at that and looking at our relationship, I was like, I saw a lot of flaws. And it was funny because I went on a deer hunt in Colorado when I shot that mule deer.
It's a nice deer, by the way.
Yeah. It's a big 14 points.
Butte.
Gross 208.
Whew.
Big boy.
Yeah.
Anyways. Little flex there on the old deer mount.
Yeah. Way to be humble about that, Jake.
Oh, yeah. That's a fun story anyways. But so anyways, I was up in the mountains and this guy that I've known my whole life, called him Uncle Randy. He's not any relation.
Hey, I got one of those.
You know uncles.
I got an Uncle Randy.
Oh, yeah.
But he's a real Uncle Randy.
But he was having issues with his wife. They were having marriage issues. And, dude, I'm like 15. But it's like this guy, we're on the side of a mountain, and I'm giving advice. Wow. So, like, the love of marriage has always been there. And the love of advice. And he's like, man, I never thought of it that way. Or I can't believe that. Or I should try that. Like, man, but I'm 15 years old doing that. Like, I really feel like God put that in my life.
I think so,
I love marriage.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like a gift that God has given you to like something that he's like passionately putting inside of you. So, and it shows through. It's cool.
Have you ever been to a wedding?
Yes, of course. What do you mean?
Asking. Have you ever sit there and they have that Corinthians verse where it's like, love is patient, love is kind, all the way down. Mm-hmm. It's like every wedding. That's always there.
Is it every wedding?
Every.
I mean, you're at a
pretty much.
weddings.
If you're in a southern wedding, you're going to have it on every aisle.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It's unique though to every customer that I have though. Just to make sure, verify that it's the first time I've seen this.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's like love. I watch weddings every weekend, pretty much, except this weekend. But every weekend, and you see people that are about to devote their life, and the same scripture.
For the listeners, he just gave quotations.
Yeah. So they
devote your life.
Devote your life. They're promising all of these things, and you see these vows and you see what scriptures they're reading, and it's every time it's the same. The ring is a circle of the never see it every time.
Yeah.
And it's like, what determines a pass or fail marriage? And it's like, love never fails.
Yeah.
That's one of the scriptures. And it's like, if love is truly in that, love in God and the way that you treat somebody and the way forgiveness is love, it's a huge part of love. That God so loved the world that he gave his only son. Yeah. He loved us so much that he sacrificed for us.
Yeah, took upon the sins of the world, our sins.
And sacrifice in marriage is the number one key. You have to be willing to sacrifice yourself for your wife. If it came down to your own life.
Yeah.
But it's even your feelings. It's everything. And a lot of times, man, this is my favorite part that I learned through marriage is that, a wife is supposed to submit to your husband. Duh. Like, they hate it.
Yeah.
Right? Just puts a bad taste in their mouth.
For sure. Especially with the modern age woman.
Right? But what if your husband was willing to lay down his life for you, loved you like Christ loved the church, cared about you, forgave you, built you up, made you proud, did everything he could possible to make you feel right? Would you want to submit to him?
Jake, I want to marry you right now.
My voice did get a little deeper when I was talking like that. My point is, Christ, I didn't know him when I was in my mother's womb or whatever. He said he knew me, right? I come to earth. I'm here living, and Christ knew me before I was even born, and he died for me. He took the first step in our relationship. In marriage, a man has got to take the first step. He takes the first step in sacrifice, and then the woman will submit.
Right.
That's the bottom line. Submission is not a bad word in marriage when the man is doing what's right. If he's doing what's right and he's actually living like he should, or not even living, but treating his wife with the utmost respect, it will be 100%. They are built to submit freely to you and love you. That's what marriage is. It's not that I lord it over my wife, that she submits to me. There's times that I shut my mouth and submit to her and do things that she asks, as far as relationship or doing things with the kids or whatever. But that mutual respect there is what builds a marriage. And submission to one another comes by just practicing that, being in love together. So it's not overnight. We went through a lot of hard times to get where we're at, and a lot of hard times to get the knowledge that I have in marriage. But it's worth chasing. It's the most valuable thing we have here. So that's, if I had a mic, I'd drop it. Just messing.
Man, dude.
It's a serious conversation, but.
Man, it's good stuff, Jake. Thanks, man. Seriously. Good stuff.
Well,
I don't know what to do.
Hopefully that helps somebody.
Yeah, help me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. It's good to be reminded of a lot.
I need to remember to hold this up.
Yeah, quit slouching. As your fitness coach, quit slouching.
Your posture's horrible.
Pull your shoulders back, son.
That's all the squats I do all the time.
Oh, no.
My back's broke.
Squatting tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah, great. What are we doing? The Hinkling Complex, or what is it called?
No complexes tomorrow.
Okay, good.
No.
Anyways.
Nobody.
I got a question for you.
You have a question for me?
Yeah. What have you seen that's valuable from our podcast? Our platform right now, if you're just taking a snapshot of it, we've been 7 episodes in. Are you pleased with it? What do you think the future is for it? What do you like about it?
First of all, I think I would do this whether we had 0 listeners or not.
Yeah.
Here's why. The opportunity to sit down with another man and discuss real life issues is extremely valuable. So even if we didn't have a platform, didn't have microphones in front of us, it's been beneficial, right? Yeah. So to sit down man to man, we just have conversations about real life things has been really good for me. Mm-hmm. Other than that, self-development, right? That's taking place.
Pushing me,
like challenging me. Yeah. It's challenging me to be better in a ton of different ways. Marriage, parent, relationship with Christ, challenging me. Is the next one would be people telling me how it's challenged them.
Really?
Dude.
See, I don't know a lot of people, so
you're right.
I really don't.
Yeah, you're right.
But I like to hear your feedback that you get from people.
Yeah, no, I've had people tell me, hey, man, I listened to this on the podcast. It challenged me to be better in this area. And I'm like, dude, that is the point, really, right? It really is. Behind the better.
I mean, Destiny, she reached out to us. I knew her. Not my wife. Destiny.
Oh, yeah.
My sister-in-law.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then my cousin reached out to me. And like I
so you had people reach out to you.
But I don't know how many you had. It seems like a lot of people on Facebook know you.
Facebook and stuff, yeah.
That's not the point. The point is, it's working.
Yeah.
That's really good. I mean, that's like you said, that's second. First thing is that we started this for ourselves anyways.
Yeah.
Just a way to like vocalize it and talk about it. It's pretty cool. I like the way it's turning out. I really do.
Yeah, me too. I didn't know how this was going to go when we first started.
Yeah.
I had a different vision in mind. Like how this was going to be, because you kind of like conceptualize how you think this is going to go, and you create this like, okay, you imagine these conversations being this way and blah, 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 blah. And then when it starts going down a road, you're like, wait a second. But I love the road we're on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I definitely thought we would do more of a, I don't know, like upbeat and crazy type thing.
Well,
but
those
we
things
have
are
those moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
we have those
still
moments.
could happen.
But I'm saying like it's like brought a lot more information than I thought it was going to bring. Like there's a lot more like
depth.
This could actually help people instead of it just being some random podcast.
More depth than I thought there was going to be.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The depth of it is kind of different. I didn't think we would get this deep into things, but I'm grateful for it. I really think God has something great in your life to share with the world, and that's what we're doing. So I'm pretty pumped about that.
He's like, I like the way he says that. Really, in your life, as he talked to the entire time.
Let's be honest. You gave the platform today.
I did. I gave you the platform.
He was like, put his hand out. He's like, go ahead, Jake.
I set the ball on the tee and he just cranked it out of the park.
Now the production team's going to tell me I'm on probation. Dell's going to get to talk for the next 2 times.
Yeah.
With a guest.
We're going to bring a guest on so Jake doesn't get to talk.
Those of you that watch the guest episodes, I sit here like this is like a tennis ball match. Just looking back and forth. Dell, guest, Dell, guest, guest, Dell.
Oh, that's not entire.
And then Dell's like, Jake, do you have any questions? I'm like, Dell, I haven't been in this conversation. I have no idea what to talk about.
No, then Jake's like, yeah, so how's this being a parent?
So, well, let's talk about marriage. The one topic. It's like my wild card.
Yeah.
Marriage, kids, father. That's all I got.
He's like, ace of spades. Every time.
That's funny.
I love it, dude. All right, man.
I don't want to shut it down.
You don't want to shut it down? What do you want to talk about?
Something lighthearted.
Something lighthearted?
Something funny.
Something funny?
You said, what was your favorite movie?
What is your favorite movie when you were a kid?
Dumb and Dumber, 100%.
Really? Dumb and Dumber? I did like Dumb and Dumber. I can tell you that I watched this movie called I think they might have had a couple of them, but the Buttercream Gang. Did you ever watch that?
No.
Yeah, it was like
It's a movie?
Yeah, it was like a Christian-based movie, but I watched it over and over. Anyways, watched that a lot.
Only Christian-based movie I ever watched, Angels in the Outfield.
Come on, man.
Oh, me and my sister used to watch that all the time.
It's a good movie.
It is. We'd always be doing that in like football games and stuff.
That's
when I was playing football, she would do that to me.
Well, maybe not. Okay, I got my probably all-time favorite movie, Gladiator.
Really?
Dude, it's so well written.
Like Braveheart too, though.
Me too. I love Braveheart.
I haven't got to really watch Gladiator all the way through.
Gladiator's so good, dude. It is so good. I love that movie. The story and everything, the betrayal, all of it. It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
Betrayal was in Braveheart too.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Killed his wife.
Yeah, that was brutal.
That was bad.
Really bad.
He got angry. He got really.
He got a little angry.
Yeah. So yeah.
He was even angry whenever they were like ripping him from.
Oh, I know.
He was still mad.
Dude, that movie gets me. That
good.
scene right there was like, as a little kid, it was hard going to sleep after that. Oh, I know.
Yeah, it was wild.
Ugh,
Anyways.
Sick. Anyways.
Yeah, so Gladiator is my favorite.
We talked about a little bit about our music when we were kids. What did you listen to?
I never
DC
said anything.
Talk?
No. Yeah, a little bit, but not really. DC Talk really wasn't my band. I was into like
Switchfoot?
more rocky stuff. I love Switchfoot. Oh, dude, whenever
They were
Switchfoot,
Christian?
Yeah. When they came onto the scene, I started listening to them. I was like all in. So I loved Switchfoot, but I really was into like when I was younger, like into like ska and punk like a lot. So
Oh, really?
MXPX, Supertones, stuff like that.
D was into some hardcore stuff.
Like real hardcore?
Yeah, like screamo stuff.
Oh, dude. So I went through that phase too, and I still occasionally dive into it. Not often. Just every once in a while. I notice my tolerance for it is not as high as it used to be. Like I used to like it, like enjoy it, but not so much anymore.
I was pretty hardcore with the rap legends.
Yeah, I asked Jake what he listened to, and she's like, I didn't really listen to music. And I was like, you didn't listen to things? He's like, well, maybe some Nelly. And I'm like, Nelly!
Nelly's not even the hardcore. I mean, when we were growing up, Nelly was big.
Yeah.
I listened to 50 Cent, Ludacris.
Oh, that's funny. Like
I can sing a lot of their songs. Sadly,
I was not into rap really that much. Like I would occasionally be like, okay, that's a catchy song, but it was all rock for me.
Yeah.
If I used to like make fun of most other genres, or like I would tolerate most genres except for country when I was a kid. Like as a joke, we'd always say, or I would always say, you know where they play country music? On the elevator going to hell. That's what I would say.
Jeez.
Hated country music.
Why?
Like
Garth Brooks and George Strait and all those.
I never listened to it, man. For real.
Goodness.
Never listened to it. So you know what like got me kind of enjoying some country though? Is like Chris Stapleton because it's like blues, like guitars. Because I like rock.
You like Whiskey Myers? You like any like Texas country?
That's what I'm saying. I don't know it. I don't know none of it.
We gotta get you some, man.
I don't know.
Some of that stuff's good.
Anyway.
And it's like all about Texas, and you hear about like
Yeah.
Matagorda Bay, and like they
wow.
talk about all kinds of this.
Speaking of Matagorda Bay, did you watch that video on Facebook the other day of Matagorda Bay? They're like ripping redfish. They're just like boiling.
Really?
Dude, it's nuts. I'll show it.
And
to
east,
you.
west.
It didn't say it. It said Matagorda Bay. But it was like super blue, and they said past the third sandbar. So I'm like,
oh, so they're in the surf.
They're in the surf.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they've been killing in the surf. I mean,
Yeah.
you saw the picture.
They were
I
like
sent you.
boiling redfish. It was absolutely bonkers.
No, they are definitely in the surf. I get pictures almost every day from my father-in-law that guides he knows and stuff that they're just piling up right now in the surf. But fishing's fun for us.
Yeah, so
hunting, you like to hunt. You ready to go on an elk hunt?
Yeah.
You have stories after that.
Dude, we're gonna have to do a podcast on the elk hunt when I get back.
For sure.
That's gonna be good.
So
all right. What else? You got anything else? Got any other silly questions for me?
No.
All right, I got one for you.
All right.
Favorite sport growing up?
Oh, football.
Without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
It's funny though, I played varsity tennis too.
Did you really?
Varsity golf.
Oh wow.
I wasn't good. I wasn't as good as golf. I was pretty good at tennis.
You're pretty good at tennis? All right.
Played doubles though.
Oh yeah.
So it was like the cheap tennis.
Oh my goodness.
Cheating
Come
tennis.
on, man.
So yeah, I played that. Yeah, what's the weirdest sport you played, I guess? Weirdest would for me would be tennis, but
Pickleball.
Is that with the wooden it's like the little plastic ball?
It's a plastic ball. It's like tennis.
It's like tennis.
It's like tennis, but it's just different.
That's fun.
It's not
That's actually more fun than tennis, I think.
Yeah, it's probably the weirdest, like, or at least the it's maybe not the weirdest, but it's the most like people don't know about it, right? It's not like a big deal. Like sports that I enjoy to play that I don't get to, volleyball at the top of the list. Just time. And then, you know what I used to love playing was racquetball, dude. Racquetball.
With the little bird?
Is it no, that's badminton. Oh. Get out of here.
What's racquetball then?
Racquetball's
the blue ball?
In the court.
Oh, that thing's kind of like...
It's dangerous. Yeah, man. I've been hit and like bruised like bad from
that ball's different too, right? Does it bounce a lot or is it not?
Super bouncy. Yeah. Yeah. It's a lot. It's fun.
It's in the glass cage too.
It doesn't have to be glass, but oftentimes there's at least some glass.
Every time I see that in movies, it's like people are getting slammed against a glass or like bleeding and stuff. It's always like a big deal.
We'll have to go play sometime.
I don't know the rules.
It's super simple.
Yeah, it's probably like tennis, but it's like wall ball, kind of.
Yeah.
Dude, wall ball. You know what I was talking about last night with D? Some of the best times that like best football games I ever had was like at the varsity football games behind the bleachers. Like those little.
Oh,
did you ever do those little games?
Like little kids playing.
Oh, dude, those were fun. That was like, I was looking at them kids and I'm like, man, they're living life.
Living life.
Like they don't care.
My favorite, probably my favorite time playing sports was, when we were growing up and I was like between the age of 6 and 10, I lived in a little subdivision and me and all the neighbor kids played basketball, football, baseball with the season. Yeah. So we played sports year round and that was fun.
Yeah, you usually have that core group of like 6 guys that played every sport together. Pee-wee, but they also played baseball like every year leading up. Yeah. We did that. And then of course you played wall ball. Like football, you played football behind the bleachers. Yep. Baseball, you played wall ball.
Wall ball, yeah. Yeah.
That's funny, man. Like when you really sit back and you think of those times, you're like, man, life was really simple then.
Really simple.
Yeah.
Really fun.
But then I always think of like the only reason why I love being out of that time, it was the freedom to go anywhere at any time that I wanted. Yeah. Because we'd leave all the time, so it's fun. Yeah. Because, I don't know. I just like the freedom of that. Other than the bills and all that stuff, you got to go back. But
that's good, dude. No. All right.
Kids. All right. We have a timer because we can only take so much heat, and then Dell's eyes start like.
I start drooping.
He starts like blinking one eye first, and the second one, and then together.
My lazy eye starts.
Which was actually, you'll see it when we edit this. It was like 20 minutes in, he was like already starting sweating. I'm like, Dell, you look like you're dying. He's probably falling asleep, honestly.
It says it's 101 up there.
Oh, it changed. It got hotter in here. Yeah. So, well.
Jake,
all right, well.
It's good to know more about you.
I guess. I don't know if you found out more about me or not. Everybody else was like, man, this is going to be a good one.
Weirdly enough, I found out you really enjoy marriage.
If I haven't mentioned it, Dell, I love marriage. Episodes 1, 2, 3, 5, 7.
Marriage Talks with Jake. We're changing the name.
We're just going to go straight Jake Podcast.
Jake Podcast.
During the week time. Then I'll have to separate and just do this one.
That's right.
No marriage here anymore.
Yeah, right. It's good stuff.
Yeah.
All right, brother.
Cool.
Thanks for sitting down today.
Is it not like getting weirder and weirder to shut these things down?
Is it?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Sometimes it's like.
Sometimes you just got to force it. No, we're high-fiving.
Oh, yeah.
It's a thing.
Every time.
I want people to see this. If they
Dude,
watch.
I'm proud of you, though.
Why?
Well, I was going to say I'm proud of myself, but because I don't talk as much anymore, but that's not the case. I have negative points now for today.
Whatever.
But like I said, I felt like you handed the ball off today.
I did, for sure.
So I don't feel bad about it. But you haven't been doing the booms. You did one.
I did one little.
We don't have to put the boom counter up, but that's great.
You don't like that I boom?
No, I was just saying like it's a thing. Like we do high fives, and for an episode there, it was definitely a thing. The boom was like 6 or 7 booms. Yeah. And then you only mentioned Dr. Phil like 3 times.
Yeah, I've been feeling bad about that, Jake. I got to quit doing that.
It doesn't matter.
I don't want to hurt your feelings too bad. Like
I think after today, I've just accepted it. I'm just like, Dr. Phil ain't got nothing on me. So now when you say this, it's like, that's actually.
Bring it, Dr. Phil.
Yeah, I'll show you Dr. Phil. You really want Dr. Phil?
You want Dr. Phil?
I'll give it to you.
I'm going to give you Dr. Phil. I'm going to
Phil.
Dr. Phil even harder.
I'm going to Dr. Phil so hard my freaking hair grows out on the sides like Dr. Phil. And my mustache.
Oh, my goodness, man. All right.
Has Jake, Dr. Phil really changed people's lives, you think?
I think so. Without a doubt. Like he's definitely done some positive things for people. For sure.
Now Dale. How does he sound? Now Dale.
Now
I can't talk like him.
Dude, Lee did it really good the other day.
Did he try to do it? Was he making fun of me?
Yeah. No. You remember he was sitting over there and like when we were talking about the Dr. Phil on TV.
Oh, the Dr. Phil.
Yeah, and he was like, now listen. I don't know how he does it anyways. He did it really good. I was like, wow. All right, man. Wrap it up.
I might make you do some impersonations. Right.
I cannot.
Nothing.
I got none. I cannot do impersonations. You have impersonations?
I don't have any. No, that'd be funny though. That's what I thought. Like throwing on the spot, be like do an impersonation.
I got no impersonations. The other ones I have are like I can think of is like, or you think of phrases from people, but I can't sound like them at all.
Right.
Like you think of like Bill Cosby and the chocolate pudding thing.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah. They make fun of him all the time now.
I know. That's why I didn't want to try it.
Let's stick with Dr. Phil.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's do it. Goodbye, Jake.
See ya.